Preventative maintenance. I want to just drill down a little bit into what that actually looks like, because there'll be a lot of people right now, including myself, who heard you use this term preventative maintenance. Yeah. And immediately I thought, Jesus Christ, I probably should do that a little bit more.
Sure.
What do you mean by preventative maintenance?
It can be lots of things. I think it can be, I try to give a lot of examples, but I think some of the simplest examples are very small gestures of courtesy. I mean, think about when you first started dating. All the little things that made the back of your neck tingle about this person. Like they would say the littlest thing about you and it made you so happy because they were noticing you, you know, and they saw beautiful things in you and that made you see and feel those things in yourself. You know, that's a amazing thing we can do for each other, you know? And so, I mean, at its core level, like the example I've given to a lot of my male friends, and several of them have done it, and I've got a lot of really good feedback on it, is leave a note. Just leave a note in the morning when you leave for work or wherever it is you're going, just leave a note. You know, it was so great hanging out with you last night. I'm with the prettiest girl in the whole world. Can't wait to see you again. That's it. What does that take? 10 seconds? 10 seconds. And every guy I meet who I say that to, they go, yeah, the first time I did it, she was like, what is going on? Why did you leave me that note? What's going on? But then after a little while, like if this is just something you do, that you go, yeah, I just, you know, I want to make a practice of like how I want to tell you this stuff I forget to tell you sometimes. You know, like what does that take? Like what does it take for your partner to say to you, you're so smart. Like I just love being around you. Like you're so handsome. I'm so lucky. Like what does that take? That's nothing. It doesn't cost anything. It takes nothing to do that.
Why don't we do it?
I don't know. I don't know. I think we just, whoever discovered water, it wasn't a fish. Like, I think you're just in it and you just stop seeing it. And that person's just there. And again, I don't know. And I also think culture is antagonistic to it. Because the example I give to people, because people love their dogs and I love my dogs. But like dogs are a great way to look at this rationally. Because I've got a 13-year-old dog. I got him when he was a puppy. Now he's 13. And like me, he's slowed down a lot. His back hurts. He's not quite the puppy he used to be. I have never once looked at that dog and gone, I got to get a puppy. This old dog, he didn't look as cute as he used to. And like, oh my God, have you seen how cute puppies are? Like, I would never. It's my dog, man. I fall more in love with that dog every single day, you know? And yeah, sure, puppies are cute and they're great and I'll pet them, but that's my dog, man. I wouldn't trade all the puppies in the world for that dog. Your partner, your romantic partner, like when did it become acceptable as it is in culture to just piss all over your partner? Like every guy, it's like I'm married to the most loathsome harpy ever to castrate a man. Like this one, the old ball and chain. And women, it's like the guy is like, oh, this idiot, like this just lovable idiot, you know, like he doesn't know anything. He's so stupid. Men are so stupid. Like when did that, what do you think's gonna come from that? Other than this disdain that we can then have for each other and this sort of disrespect, as opposed to being like so into each other, which is what you were when you were strangers. You know, when you didn't know each other, you know, all the same women sitting around in a group of women talking about how much their husbands suck. When their female friend goes, oh my God, I'm seeing this guy I just started seeing. What did he, oh my God, he sounds so great. All this is your guy 5 years ago. But somehow now, you're really gonna buy the delusion that if it all works out with him and they get married and they do their little fairy tale thing and the cake and the dress and the whole thing, that in 5 years, she's still gonna be like, he's so great. No, it's gonna be, oh, he's again, just like the rest of you. So we need to start as a culture, you know, perhaps changing the way, because I think there is something about that where we're trying to like not make people self-conscious. So we just like take the piss out of our partner all the time in front of, you know, people or around other people. And I don't find that charming.
Do you think that when we get to the lovable idiot, oh my God, happy wife, happy life, all that stuff, which is part of culture?
What the hell? Happy wife, whoever said that should just be beaten to death. Happy wife, happy life. Like if I hear one more person give that advice to somebody, I have to tell you, that is just the most ridiculous. What does that even mean? Happy wife, happy life.
If she's happy, then I'm happy. Because
Is that true?
I think I think it's used by men who believe that their wife is always unhappy. So if she's not shouting at me and I can just sit here and watch the football, then all is well.
Boy, is that something to aspire to? You know? Man, I can't wait, for someday for my kids to just sit there while the person in the other room is just mildly dissatisfied with them, and they can just sit and watch, the football game. Really? That's what we're aspiring to? That's what you hope for? Like, I got to tell you, I think our goals are really misaligned. My greatest accomplishment in life is my children. Really? That's your greatest accomplishment in life is your children. Let me ask you this. What will your children's greatest accomplishment in life be? Having children? Because guess what? This is the ideology of a cancer cell. Growth for the sake of growth, for the sake of growth, for the sake of growth. Reproduction for the sake of reproduction. I don't think that's the highest, noblest goal. I think there should be something in there about quality of life, about making the world or the experience of others better. Like, again, it's not for me to define, but intelligence is hard to define, but I can spot stupid a mile away. And I have to tell you, a good relationship, it's kind of hard to quantify, but man, I know what sucks. I know a bad relationship when I see one, and we all know them. So what's more uncomfortable? That relationship where, at least she's not yelling at me and she's only mildly dissatisfied and I can just be left alone for an hour and watch the football. Or having to have an uncomfortable conversation, again, while you're still like each other, but there's a little slippage. There's a little something going in the other direction, and I don't want it to go too far. I mean, put it into the physical context. It is a whole lot easier to maintain a healthy weight than to gain 100 pounds and then try to figure out how to lose it. That's much, much harder, and it's much worse for you. And the chances of you actually accomplishing it are way lower. Whereas maintaining a healthy weight, that's not an unrealistic thing to be able to do.
I had sat here with one psychologist, who I'm sure you'll know, a very famous individual, called Jordan Peterson. And he said to me, he was shouting when he said it. He said, listen, you're going to have to sit down for 90 minutes a week and you're going to have to listen to her. And she's going to tell you everything that's wrong. And he goes, if you don't listen to her for 90 minutes a week, you'll be listening to her in divorce court. And he was almost shouting when he says it. The analogy he's making, what he's saying is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is you're going to have to...
I find Jordan Peterson very entertaining. I've been a fan of his work a long time. And I loved, actually, your conversation with him. What I will say is I think that he's sort of hyperbolic in his presentation sometimes, which I enjoy. But I think we totally agree on this. I think that what he's saying more than anything is that you can invest now in candor and in listening to this other person in a non-defensive manner. And so there's a chapter in my book called Hit Send Now, where I talk about exactly that, where I say, you need to be able to have these conversations, but have them in a way that you're hearing it and you're saying it, you're agreeing. It's a contract that we know we love each other. So we're going to try to say it with love. We're going to try to hear it with love, because I'm only saying it because this is important to me, this relationship, and I want it to be good for you and for me. So I'm going to go out on the limb here. I'm going to take this risk because you're worth it. You are worth it for me to take this risk. It's scary. I'm not excited about having to say it, but you know what? Like, I care enough. And when you say things to me, I'm going to hear it. I'm going to hear it as you saying, I care so much about this relationship. I'm going to say this harder thing to say. And it might be little. It might be, you said the other night you were talking about my sister and you made that little joke about her and it felt like you were like kind of making fun of my sister. And I thought you liked my sister. And it's really important to me that you like my sister because I really like my sister. So maybe I misunderstood you. And if I did, okay, great. Let me know that.
Hit send now.
Just hit send now. The reason I said hit send now is when you ever like write an email where you said something important and you like write it and rewrite it and you craft it and you're like about to hit send and you're like, oh boy. And then you hit it and you're like, well, it's there now. Can't unsend it now. Like, it's done. I hit send now. That's where I got the term hit send now. Because, but I said, like, make it a technique. Like, say to your partner, I want to do this. I want you to do it and I want to do it. But I want to make it clear, like make the subject heading of the email hitting send now.
Okay, so they know.
So they know this is not an attack. This is something I want to get off my chest. You don't have to respond right away. You don't have to respond in writing if you don't want to. But I just want to put this out there because I want you to digest it.
And the key to this, as I read in your book, is to do it quickly and do it honestly.
Yep. And to, again, to make a point of calling this out as a technique when you're in a good place. So when you're already in a good place, there's an abundance of goodwill between us. We're in a good spot. That's a good time to say, hey, look, this is good, man, and this is important. So let's keep it good. And the way we're going to do that is if I say to you, you know, I'm making an example. We used to have sex 5 times a week. And now I feel like it's like, you know, once a week maybe. And I think you're so attractive. I love it. Like, I don't feel any less attracted to you. And I know, you know, we've been busy and things like that, but like, I don't want to see that slip. I want you to be the person that fills all my desires and all my fantasies. I don't want to look at porn. I don't want to think about other things. I want to really be focused on you. Is there something I'm doing that's causing you to be less interested in me? Is there something I could do that would spark things better? Is there something going on that I need to know in terms of how you feel about me?
Yeah, but what if it's personal and what if it's offensive? What if it's...
Isn't it better to know? If it's personal and it's offensive, isn't it better to know? Like, because I tell you, I'll come up with 1,000 different reasons it might be, and only one of them might be accurate. And the other 999 might be complete garbage in my mind. Like, I might be convinced that it's because you're cheating. I might be convinced that I'm not attractive to you all of a sudden because, you know, my hair got grayer or I got a bad haircut or something stupid.
What if it's that?
Then wouldn't you rather know? Wouldn't you rather know? Wouldn't you? And find some other, and listen, I'm not saying, by the way, everything isn't everything, right? Like, there are things in relationships that you might just say, yeah, I don't know, that's changed. Like, I used to be really into that and now I'm not anymore. You know, or that used to mean a lot to me and now it doesn't. And that gives your partner a chance to say, well, look, it's still really important to me. So can we find some common ground?
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.